Hiya, I'm going to do a quick video on the boost gauge, okay, as fitted to the Lancer Turbo. Now this style and this type of boost gauge is completely unique to this vehicle. All across the Mitsubishi range in the 80s, cars were fitted with boost gauges, but very often, like on the Starions, they were located like there in the middle of the dashboard. It had a different kind of binnacle as well. The same goes for the Sapphires, the Gallants, the Colt Turbos, the Tredias, the Cordias. The Lancer was unique in as much as the boost gauge was separate. It wasn't actually on the dashboard, and it was located here in front of the gear stick where my clock is. On this car they've been swapped around. I said that before in my video. So that boost gauge should be actually located here as part of the centre console. But it's actually there, and I prefer it there. Now these boost gauges, to be honest with you, are not very accurate. They are electronic. There's no pipe or tube going into the back where it can, like on a regular, let's say a liquid filled one, where it reads the pressure directly. This is linked into the ECU, and I believe it's linked into the boost controller, which is located on the front of the bulkhead. So I'll just run you through its functionality. When you turn the ignition on, it will give you a check. Now the check is there, the overboost light, which is a red one, and it's gone up to 0 psi vacuum, 0 psi boost. When you start the engine, it will drop down to around 7, minus 7 on vacuum. So here we go. Okay, that's on idle. The car's very cold, so it might not idle very well. Now this responds directly to throttle movement. Okay, so I'm just going to let the car warm up a tiny bit, put some oil through it. But as it is, it responds directly to my foot on the accelerator. So if I put the revs up a bit, you see it dancing up and down. So as you decelerate, as you come off the throttle, it drops to below minus 7, and as you add throttle, it goes just above. So that is responding directly to the revs. I don't know if you can see that. Now, normal boost pressure for a standard Lancer running an IHI turbo will be between 7 and 9 psi on the boost gauge. That's what it's set at from the factory. The overboost light will come on in the event of maybe the wastegate actuator pipe coming off, or the wastegate pipe coming off, and it's sort of going all the way around. And then you'll get an overboost light, and it will bleed off the excess boost. On the IHI turbo, it's got a small valve, a pinhole valve, and it bleeds off the excess boost. And I can't remember, but I think the power sort of cuts right off. The ECU adjusts, just basically to stop the engine launching itself. It basically bleeds off the excess boost, and you're very much down on power. So it's kind of an early limp mode, if you will. These gauges, because they're electronic, okay, they're not mechanical, they're electronic, and as I said, they run off the boost controller, which is located on the bulkhead, and also the ECU itself. They're not superbly accurate, they're not very accurate. This is the only boost gauge I've got in the car, and it's telling me that it's boosting 14 to 16 psi. Now a friend of mine has got a Lancer, and we had a look at his, and he's got a proper boost gauge on it, and we found out that the one he put on was more accurate. It was a proper liquid filled bespoke one, and the boost gauge on the Mitsubishi was actually reading 3 psi out, which can make a lot of difference, as you can imagine. It can be the difference between your engine going for going through the blowing up, basically going for a burn, or you might be wondering why. Hang on, I'm boosting 14 psi, but it just doesn't feel powerful enough. So 3 psi difference is quite a bit. So you can't rely on these. And I know a few of you guys in the Philippines are turbocharging your boxes. Some of you guys have put 4G63 engines in them. I know one of my subscribers has got a VR4 engine in. If you do manage to get hold of one of these boost gauges, and they are very, very rare indeed. Let's get some focus on that. If you do manage to get hold of one, don't rely on it. Fit it for aesthetic purposes, because it looks good, they look cool, but don't rely on it. Don't rely on it to be accurate. So, like I say, normal operation, ignition check, overboost lights checked. Okay, that's your idle. That's tickling the throttle. Now, if you're in neutral, like I am, doesn't matter how much throttle you give, it will never go above 0. It will never go above 0. It's only when the actual car is moving and it's under load that that'll actually start to boost, which again tells me that it's you know, electronic rather than mechanical. So there you have it. It's a quick video on that. I hope you enjoyed that. The Lancer's, as I say, I got the blankets ready to put over her for the winter. That'll be coming soon. But yeah, she's running well. I got some new exhaust hangers I've got to put on there because the old ones are all split. So I've got some new ones. They're going to be going on. Oil pressure's good. I'm very pleased with the car. The fuel hasn't gone off yet. So yeah. One other thing I think I forgot to mention when I was doing a dashboard video, that the Lancer, believe it or not, has a low washer bottle warning light on it. And that my Subaru hasn't even got that. Neither has the wife's Range Rover Evoque. You know, so there you go, Mitsubishi. You know, you was ahead of the time even back then. And you've got a rheostat. That's called a rheostat here. I don't know if you can see that, but that basically is the dimmer for the dashboard. It doesn't dim that, and it never did. Even if you had a even if that was located where it should have been, it would never dim down. Well, as far as I can remember anyway. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up. Big hello to all my new subscribers. I've got about 4 or 5 just come in just recently over the past few weeks. Hi guys. If there's anything you want me to do a video on, just let me know, and keep safe and take care.